Hello everybody, let's do a few of the trickier sort of problems towards the end of our handout that we've been working on in class. Notice in this question we're given the ions and we're asked to determine the chemical formula of the ionic compound that's produced by these ions. This isn't too difficult if you realize that the compound will be neutral. So if this is a double positive and this is a single positive, you need two Cl's that would join with this double positive iron ion, forming FeCl2. So this is a neutral compound. Again, +2 and then 2 -1s. We could do it the fast, quick way, do crisscross. This gets us a neutral compound quickly, so here are the two ions, bring the 2 here, bring that -1 here, but of course there's no such thing as a negative atom, so that becomes absolute value 1, and there is calcium iodide. Here is, along the same method, magnesium oxide, but 2 to 2 is the same as 1 to 1, and we want an empirical formula, which is the smallest whole number ratio. So that's my empirical formula for magnesium oxide. Here are some others, just for practice. Let's crisscross here. We'll put the 3 there and the 2 there. That is iron oxide, but be careful. We need to indicate that the iron is a +3. So that makes this iron 3 oxide. Again, crisscross here for chromium oxide, and that's a transition metal, so let's put the chromium 3 oxide on that. There we go. And here we have these ions coming together. There's a polyatomic, that's sodium nitrate. We don't bracket, that's a polyatomic. We don't bracket it because there's only one of them. And remember, this is acting as one unit. Here is aluminum carbonate, but here's the chemical formula. Check it out, carbonate's polyatomic. So this 3, when we crisscross, must be on the outside of the parentheses. Notice the 2 there, crisscross puts us here at aluminum carbonate. Let's check our work. The 2 aluminums here are +3. Individually, they're +3, but there's 2 of them, so that makes a +6. The carbonates are a -2. And there are 3 of those, so -2 times 3 is -6. This is a neutral compound. Of course, we're bracketing the polyatomics if there's more than 1. And the name of that is aluminum carbonate. So there it is. Here's the answer for strontium phosphate. This is calcium hydroxide. And last but not least, we'll zoom in. That's ammonium. That's fluoride because it has a negative. If it was simply an F, it's fluorine, but now it's fluoride. And that's ammonium fluoride. Now, we are asked to show the ions that would be released. Just think of these as putting these ionic compounds into water, and they would be released as a cation and an anion, but we need to remember that we need to put the proper number out in front so we don't break the law of conservation of matter. Here we go. Magnesium chloride. If you dissolve that in water, it releases a magnesium double positive, and it releases 2 chloride ions. Calcium iodide. Calcium double positive, and 2 Cl minus. It's helpful to note these are alkaline earth metals and they always form a double positive. We know that based on the positions on the periodic table. Lithium fluoride. This looks like iron oxide, and it looks like that would be iron 3 oxide, but if that ionized, it would release 2 Fe tripositive ions and 3 oxide ions at the 3 of these O2 minus ions. Let's check our work. These should add up to be a neutral charge. 2 times 3 plus 6, 3 times minus 2 minus 6, yes. So that is a neutral compound. Here's sodium chloride. Oopsie daisies, my bad, left off the negative, that should be there. Here is aluminum chloride. Ionizes, we did this in class today, into a tripositive ion. By the way, that has 3 valence electrons, so it gives 3 electrons away, forming a tripositive. 3 chloride ions. There's our magnesium oxide. Those are the 2 ions. Now here we have magnesium nitrate. The magnesium, of course, ionizes into a double positive, and also we'd have 2 nitrate ions released. I know that from there. Here's sodium carbonate, so that ionizes to 2 Na positives, and that ionizes into 1 carbonate. Let's see if this is neutral. 1 carbonate has a minus 2. 2 of these has plus 1 again, plus 2, minus 2. Bingo. This is sodium nitride, not nitrate, but nitride. And there you go, 3 positives and a triple negative. Note that this, if it takes on a charge, will often be -3 because of its position on the periodic table with valence electrons. How many valence does this have? 5, so it gains 3 electrons. That should be making some sense. Here's calcium phosphate, ionizes into 3 calcium ions and 2 phosphate polyatomic ions. Finally, we have calcium hydroxide here, and that ionizes, there we go again, plus 2, alkaline earth metal, group 2 metal there. And then look at the hydroxides. 2 of these negatives, 1 of these double positives, and that gets that calcium hydroxide. Well, I hope this helped, and study hard for the quiz.